Hey, what's new? Bumble Jeepers. Been a while. Um, I had a video that I had planned on uploading about 3 weeks ago, more or less. I kind of lost track of time with all this nonsense with the coronavirus. But anyhow, this is 5th or 6th of April, 2020. I'm back over at the shop. Gonna start doing some more work on the Bumble Jeep. I tried to record with the webcam that I had gotten, I don't know, 2 years ago. Figured I might as well give it a try. I got the battery charged up. I actually had one battery left that still would hold a charge for a decent amount of time, would even take a charge actually, and held it for a decent amount of time. The rest of them were all pretty much junk. Um, anyhow, I was going to record a video on doing the front flares here. I'm not going to have time between now and inspection. Inspection is due on this next month. And Pennsylvania is fussy about, having your tires stick out further than your body. So I bought a set of aftermarket OEM style flares from Quadratech. Got a pretty good deal on them. I didn't buy the mounting hardware for them. The mounting hardware was actually more expensive than the flares themselves, and I wanted to be able to, when I'm all done with these flares, to take them back off and to put the fabricated aluminum or steel flares, flat flares on this thing. So I bought the nutsert tool, got it all figured out. I got the tool dialed in. I'm going to turn this around here in a second, show you. I'm not putting the rear flares on yet. I have them, but there's the front flares. And I used the nutserts to mount these up. I had to mount them in the front there. They're not perfect. I got a little bit of a gap in here, as you can see. I'm not really overly worried about it. When you step back, you can't see it. Black on yellow, you're not going to see it. So anyhow, there you are. And it's the same on this side. I got quite a big gap on this one, but I'm not overly worried about it, as I said. And there's my logo. Let me know if you are interested in, any kind of merchandise. I don't have any yet, but I could easily get some. So anyhow, so today what I'm going to do, take you around the backside here. And sorry, I'm chewing gum. I'm nervous. I'm nerd novice. I just felt the need to freshen things up a little bit. So okay, so what I'm going to do in the back here, going to turn you around again. Started a little bit just to try it out. I'm going to be wet sanding these rear quarters. Good, and the dome light doesn't go on. I'm going to get into these door jambs a little bit. I don't know, I'm probably not going to get it sprayed today. It's already 3:30-ish, 3:45. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the rear glass out on both sides. This side will actually be the easiest because no fuel door. I'm debating. I don't think I need to pull the tail lights yet, although I will, because at some point before I paint these quarters, there's rear quarters, I will pull the weather stripping and mask this back opening, but I want to be able to drive it out of here tonight. So after I pull the glass, when I'm all done wet sanding, I'm going to back tape where the glass was and put some sort of sheet plastic in if I can find something around here. So anyhow, the process is going to go as follows. I'm going to get a damp cloth and some cleaner of some variety, clean up the jam here, because I want that all, this is going to get squirted. So I'll be pulling the weather stripping out of here to squirt this when I'm ready to squirt it. I'm not going to pull it out now. clean up the door jambs on both sides, clean up the rear jamb. As you can see, I got some overspray in here from when I sprayed the roof. No biggie. I wasn't concerned about that. I'd like to take the hatch off and re-squirt it, but I don't know that I'm there yet. So we'll see how that turns out. I do have a jam gun that I can put a little in and blow in around there and make it look decent. But the reason I want the glass out is so I can get in here and sand this nice. And I don't like masking off this type of gasket. It's a royal pain to make it look right. And since this is going to be yellow on black, any little tape faux pas it's going to show black through it, which I don't want. So I'm just going to pull the glass out. This glass doesn't come out that hard. I just noticed something. Well, I may or may not be pulling the glass out today, but well, either way, sorry. So it looks like I'm going to have to pull some of the trim back out of here to get the glass out. Have to pull these panels out. Have to pull this corner panel out. Have to pull this one out. I think I can leave that one in, but anyhow, we'll see. So going to be using 400 wet dry, but I'm going to be using it wet. The mixture, I have a bucket of hot, mildly soapy water. The reason for the soap is as you're sanding, if there's any grease or oil or whatever on the surface, it helps break that down. We used several different things at the garage when I worked at the garage, and we'd be getting one ready for paint, especially one like this. You can use Dawn dish detergent. In this particular batch, I used, I don't know, maybe a couple of capfuls, an eighth of a cup, or maybe even a quarter of a cup of laundry detergent. You can use any kind of dish soap will work, any kind of laundry soap. I'd stay away from your hand soaps or, body washes, anything like that. But the reason is it helps dissolve the oils and whatnot as you're wet sanding. And then when you go, before you can do anything after you wet sand, this has to get washed off and rinsed real good. And that'll help all those oils and dirts and whatnot to flow off of here. And so when you paint, you don't have problems with fish eyes. So anyhow, turn her back around. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to see if I can get this first one out without pulling the interior trim, although it doesn't look promising. I'm looking in here and I'm seeing a lot of overlap. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to pull the interior trim out of here, which is no big deal. I'm going to turn this around again, yet again. See, that piece came off easy. Actually, this piece isn't even screwed in, I don't think. No, they're not. I don't think. This is screwed in. This upper piece is screwed in. This piece is screwed in. I don't know if those door pieces. So this may not be that big a deal anyhow. I don't think. Yeah, these panels are definitely not screwed in. Oh, man. My beauteous paint job is chipping off. That's what happens when you don't do proper prep, but yeah. See, that wasn't hard. This one's going to be screwed in, so I'll have to get my screw gun. But anyhow, so that's where we are now. I'm going to pause this, get some work done, and then I'll be back. And you'll see me when I get back. And hopefully by the time I come back, I'll have the glass out. I'll have at least one of these wet sanded. And yeah, still haven't decided what I'm going to do with these. If I'm going to paint them. They do come off. I'm going to paint them, or if I'm just going to leave them black, because, in order to be the Bumble Jeep, there has to be some black on it. So, all right. Good to be back. Hope everybody's healthy and well. Don't take any of this stuff too seriously. Focus on the people that have recovered, and you'll see that this is not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. Don't be one of those people that, panics at every little thing. Don't believe everything the media tells you. Don't believe everything your leaders tell you. A little paranoia is good. So anyhow, be back shortly. I'm going to pause it now. All right, back on the air. Just getting finished up. I have a little bit more sanding to do on the passenger side, but it's way after 5. It's actually 5:40. So I got the passenger side done, or the driver's side done. I'm just looking at it now that it's all dried off. Now, some things about this before I, finish up and sign off for the day. I started to tell you earlier about the big black. Hopefully not again. So anyhow, my experience with that cam. The problem was I didn't have any audio, and I didn't want to just do a voiceover. I mean, you can do that in YouTube Studio. I've been playing a little bit with OBS on my CAD channel. Posted up a couple videos there. You can check them out if you want, if you're interested in 3D solid modeling. I use Inventor software, Inventor Studio. Haven't really had time to dig into 3D Studio Max, so I stay with Inventor Studio as far as doing rendering and animations. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do. What is happening to the light? Is that no, it's not my eyes. Anyhow, so check it out if you want. That's over my other channel, Frank the CAD Monkey. Yeah, what can I say? So with this, the camera didn't capture, and it was my fault 100%. I forgot to turn the mic on, and I wasn't using a lapel mic. I do have a lapel mic. I can't get it to really work real well. I tried it with the OBS and plugging it into the sound on the motherboard and trying to record that way, and the one that gives me the best audio, I have no idea why. I think maybe they're fighting each other. I have an HP webcam hooked up to my workstation, and it's USB. It has a built-in mic. It's only a 720. It's not HD. It's only 720, 60 frames. So I don't even use that. I don't think I've ever used it as a communication device or recording device. All the stuff I did on the CAD channel was strictly, it was some sort of Autodesk screen capture product. It worked okay, but it was only 720 resolution, so you really couldn't see that much. So with this today, that was a total fail, so I didn't get to record or didn't upload any of that. I just deleted those videos. So I'm back on the phone for now until I get things resolved with that camera. I'm going to do some test runs, nothing particularly important. So anyhow, I got the glass out, both sides. Back to the Jeep stuff. Sorry for the, and apologize for the rough segue. Yeah, that's not going to work. So I'm just going to turn the camera around. All right. So as you can see, got the glass out, both sides. I wanted to get this scuffed. I'm probably going to go back over this area with a red Scotch-Brite pad, which works really well. Also going to do the door jambs. I wasn't happy with the way the 400 wet sand did on the door jambs. These rear quarters were sanded before, but they weren't really going over, very aggressively. I stalled on this side. When I got down to the dog leg there was some, I don't know if it was clear. No, it wasn't clear. It was black. There's some black vinyl, like chip guard that was on there. And I don't know if it was factory. It's probably factory. I don't see any on the bottoms of the doors, but the doors had that big molding on. This is a Cherokee Sport. It had that big, wide molding. So this side, I'm going to go over the whole bottom again and do that area down there on the dog leg to finish it up and then wipe it down before I call it a night. I also have to do something about the rear windows because I am driving this out of here tonight. I suppose I could walk back over, but really not in a walking mood. So, and one final thing before I finish up tonight, I want to do a quick, they're plowing. I want to do a quick review on this Cobalt tool set that I got for $99 shortly after Christmas. I gotta say, I really like it. I'm confused by some of the things. Like, I've had a chance to use it quite a bit the last couple of weeks. So I got to try out the sockets and the extensions and the ratchets, some of the other stuff, the Allen keys. I mean, it's part count filler, but I really like the ratchets. And I've heard some criticism on the Cobalt ratchets about the heads being so thick this way, and they are. But I wasn't using for that. This was basically household stuff. I don't know if I have mentioned it or not. I was, and I use the term was, assistant dean of boys here at Blue Mountain Academy. And with the coronavirus, all of our students have left. We have international and domestic students. They're all gone. So I got a letter from the principal. They decided that until further notice, my contract was not going to be renewed for the 2021 school year, which kind of sucks for me. But, it is what it is. So anyhow, the opportunity I got to use these tools was doing some cleanup and repairs in the dorm. Tightening toilet seats and, flipping beds around to get the rooms ready for next year. So the thing that confuses me is the mix of 12-point and 6-point sockets. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. Not sure why. Like some of these, as you can see, are 12-point. And 12-point, I don't know, where do they break off on here? Now these are 6-point. So they go up from a certain size. I don't know, that's 6-point. I don't understand. It doesn't seem to be consistent. It's, there's such a mix between 12-point and 6-point. That's 5/8. So, but I mean, overall, and it didn't matter for what I was doing. It was 12-point. It was hardware for flipping beds around. We had to disassemble some of the beds and turn the hardware around because of the way the rooms are laid out, but that doesn't matter. I just had an opportunity to use some of the ratchets and sockets and some of the wrenches and, the Allen keys, some of the other stuff in there. And I really liked it. Overall, really good quality, the thing I didn't understand when I got this is they left the drawer empty, but as it turns out, today it's handy. I took all the hardware from pulling the Jeep apart, the rear glass out of the Jeep, all the trim panels, and put it in the bottom. I don't know. So anyhow, 2 thumbs up for the Cobalt Toolkit, $99. For me, it doesn't matter, about the 12-point, 6-point stuff. There's, use for both. So closing this back up, but confused about that. And then I don't know if you guys, just gonna turn it around again. Have you guys seen any of the videos? 5 things I hate about my blah blah blah. 5 things I love. I thought that's a stupid video. I mean, you buy a vehicle because that's the vehicle you want, which is the case with the Cherokees. And yeah, there are things, sorry, distracted. Um, there are things I like about the Cherokee, and there's a few things I don't. Overall, I like it. It's, you know, it's for me. It's like they made this for me. It does have little things. I wouldn't say I hate them. I find them annoying. And one of the things, two of the things that I find annoying, um, the mix between Phillips screws and Torx heads. Ran into it today. All the trim panels on this are Phillips heads, but those little vents in the door jams, oh, you can't see it. I'm still pointing the phone at me. I'll turn it around. Sorry. There's a little vent. Oh, you saw them in the toolbox. Right there. Torx heads. Why? And then the other thing, of course, is, and that's a frustrating thing with any modern vehicle. I don't care from, I'm going to say, the early to mid 70s to date. And that's the mix between standard and metric. Don't know why they got to do it. Just make up your stinking rotten mind. Are we standard or are we metric? My first professional job out of high school, I worked as a detail draftsman, eventually designer, design engineer, mechanical engineer, and when I first started there, they were going over to the whole dual dimensioning system on all their drawings. So you had to do standard and metric both, because there was one of the investment companies that we dealt with for the fire hose division was from Germany, and it just made sense to do dual dimensioning. So we did that, and I got used to it, and I got used to using metric. And there's nothing wrong with standard inches, there's nothing wrong with metric, but make up your mind. Metric is a very easy system to get used to. For the most part, there's still things that I don't do metric. When I'm on the road, I want to know how fast I'm going in miles per hour. I don't want to know kph. I could probably get used to it. That whole old dog, new tricks, that's bull. You never stop learning. The only time you stop learning is when you're dead. And then you just learn to be happy. So, sorry. Sidetracked easily today. I haven't been online, or I haven't put out a video in a while, and I'm getting a little carried away. So, yeah, that's the latest and greatest on Project Bumble Jeep. I'm hoping to get this painted in the next couple of days. I'm still here on this campus. I still have my apartment. So, that's all good for the time being. So I'm hoping that, I'm going to lean on the Jeep. I'm hoping that I can stick around here for a while, at least until I can get this thing finished and figure out what my next move is going to be. So, drop a comment. Let me know how the coronavirus has affected you. It's affecting all of us. It's a bunch of hooey as far as I'm concerned. I want to so badly. I want to switch arms. Yeah, it's a bunch of hooey as far as I'm concerned. We've had far worse, flus for this time of year. They're just making a big deal out of it, and because they're making a big deal out of it, it is a big deal. At least from the standpoint of how everybody's reacting to it. Everybody's panicking. Not everybody. I'm not panicking. Come give me a hug. I don't care. It's just the way people are reacting to it. They're being, whipped into a frenzy over nothing as far as I'm concerned. Is it serious? Yeah, it's serious. I mean, people get sick, but it's the people that are in the high risk groups that have, immune deficiencies, whatnot. Elderly, they get sick easily anyhow. I've been blessed, the last couple of years, I don't even remember the last time I even had a cold. I might get a tickle in my throat for, a couple of days in the wintertime, or get a runny nose, whatever. I don't think I ever went outside this winter with a jacket on. Shorts, flip flops, short sleeve shirts, the whole nine, all winter long. We're in southeast Pennsylvania, and we didn't. I don't think we got more than 3 or 4 inches of snow all winter. We had some cold temperatures, but you know, I indoors most of the day. When I have to go outdoors, it's a short walk across campus to the ad building where the classrooms are, and it's 3 4 minute walk, or a 3 minute walk to the cafeteria or whatever. So I didn't see any need to put on a coat or long pants for that matter. And when I have a routine that keeps my immune system pretty healthy. Um, when I take my shower in the morning, it's as hot as I can stand, and before I get out, I'll flip it over all the way to cold. Um, Things that make you sick can't stand severe temperature, variations like that. So, um, and you can say that's a bunch of hooey. Okay, that's fine. So it works for me. I very, very, very rarely get sick, and I'm very, very thankful for that. So anyhow, I'm going to wrap it up here. Do another one tomorrow. We'll see how far I get with this tomorrow. I'm still haven't made up my mind if I'm going to drive this home or drive it back to the apartment tonight, or if I'm just going to leave it here and walk home. Um, Honestly, I don't like not having it close by. So, all right, that's it for this time. You guys will see me in the next one. Take care. God bless. Stay well.